Hi, I love being here with you guys. So today I'm talking about being present. I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to talk about mindfulness techniques that I use, being grounded, breathing, and I'm going to talk about the need to spend time with yourself and practicing talking to your inner voice and distraction free focus time and the benefits that brings to you. So, diving in. Why are we talking about being present? Because being present with our kids is one of the deepest desires that so many moms have. It's like, well, I don't want to scream so much. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But when we dig underneath the layers, what we really want is to provide that stable, safe space and to be present with them. I know that I've had so many moments where when I was working in corporate world, I would go to work and I'd be thinking about my kids. I'd be trying to prep for a meeting and I'm thinking about my kids. And then I come home and I'm supposed to be hanging out with my kids and spending time and I'm thinking about work. And it gets exacerbated because we want to be with our kids, but like they're kind of crazy sometimes and sometimes they're really boring. And so it can be really hard to stay focused and present in the moment. So that's why I'm talking about this today. So, the first thing I want to talk about is breathing techniques and grounded techniques. So, there are two major ones that I use. There are 500 billion trillion techniques, but two that I use a lot are box breathing and I don't remember what it's called, but it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, box breathing probably has a few other names, but the way I learned about it is this process of breathing in for a count of, say, 4. So I'm breathing in, holding at the top, exhaling, holding at the bottom, and repeating that. So it's like you breathe in, it goes up for 4, hold at the top for 4, you breathe out for 4, and you come over for 4. So that's the idea. It's a box. So you can visualize that box. When do you use this? You use this when kids are driving you batshit crazy. That's when you use this. This is my most powerful, like, emergency technique, I would say. And usually it's either when my kids are going off the handle and I'm like ready to strangle them, I use this. Or it's when I'm actually worked up and frustrated or upset or nervous, anxious, whatever, about something that has nothing to do with them and I just want to be here in this moment. So, this is really good in the times that you have powerful emotions happening and you want to recenter yourself and bring yourself back. So, box breathing, I love it. I do always want, anytime I talk about breathing, I want to point out that, like, if you try deep breathing techniques and you find that that makes you more anxious, I don't want you to assume that there's something wrong with you. Like, that is not entirely unique. It's less common, but that is a known thing. Some people, breathing does not calm them down. And if it does not calm you down, don't berate yourself and wonder what's wrong with you. You can practice it a few times to see maybe if you're just not used to it. But if you're like, breathing does not calm me down, it doesn't calm you down. Done. Like, do something different. And there are other techniques that I'm not going to go into today, but yeah, so box breathing. The next technique that I want to share with you is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I actually I heard about this in a few different places, but my son's class did this, and I am so, like, sometimes I look at the stuff that my kids are learning and I'm like, I'm so jealous of you. Because I had to like figure so much of this stuff out on my own as an adult. And we didn't have this idea of grounding techniques that I didn't when I was a kid. And I'm guessing that you probably also didn't. So the number 5 is sight. Look around and take note of 5 things that you can see. I see the lamp, I see the tissue box, I see my computer, that kind of thing. Very simple. 5 things that you can see. Say them out loud if you can. If you're not in a position to say them out loud, that's fine. You don't need to make yourself look like a crazy person. But 5 things you can see. 4 things that you can touch. I notice right now I can feel the desk under my elbow. I can feel my hair on the side of my cheek. I can feel my butt in the seat. That kind of like things you can feel, the touch. 3 is 3 things you can hear. I can hear my computer whirring. I can hear my partner typing on his keyboard. I hear my kids upstairs running around. Two, 2 things you can smell. So you breathe in deeply. Pay attention to 2 things you can smell. If I'm in my upstairs, if I'm in my kitchen, I probably smell rotting food. Not all the time. Actually, not right now. I'm doing pretty good right now. No rotting food upstairs right now. But it doesn't have to be a positive thing. Just notice 2 things that you can smell. And again, say them out loud. All of these, you say them out loud. And number 1 is taste. Notice 1 thing you can taste. I can taste the coffee still in my mouth from my coffee break this morning. Okay. And that's it. And that this again is one of those techniques that's really good for when you're having high emotions. And both of these things I want to point out are really great. I can use them in the moment while I'm in the same room as someone else. But sometimes I need to take a step back and seclude myself for a minute. And that's okay. If you need to do that, that's okay. You can do that. So, those are the mindfulness things that I wanted to share with you today. Next, let's jump into time for yourself. I heard a quote once that was something like 30 minutes of meditation is necessary, except when you're exceptionally busy, then a full hour is absolutely critical. And I love that because it's so true. And we don't need, most of us moms don't have all the time that we would really love to have to ourselves. And I was in a group once that had a lot of retired women in it. And they were like, I just prioritize myself. It's so important. I spend 2 hours reading each morning. I do an hour of journaling, and then I take a walk with a friend. And they're describing this like 4 hour morning ritual. And I'm like, that does sound great. That is not an option for me. So let's be realistic, right? No, maybe you can't take 4 hours at a time, but I 100% guarantee no matter who you are, no matter what your work situation, no matter what, you can do 10 minutes a day. And 10 minutes a day can make a big impact. You might be surprised, but you can do 10 minutes a day. If you tell me you can't, then you need to talk to me because we're going to figure out a way to get you 10 minutes a day because you can. And I don't want to hear that you can't. You can tell me you don't think you can, but let's talk because you can. So 10 minutes a day, if you have been like most moms give, 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 give out of this vessel that is empty. And no wonder we have a hard time being present because we just want to run away. We want to be alone. We need a break. So if you keep giving out of this place of, if you give in a way that is not out of your own abundance, you are almost definitely going to start building resentment. Resentment is toxic. It is going to hold you back in your relationships. It is going to make it hard for you to be present. It's going to make it hard for you to do most things. So if you are giving and giving and you're not sure if you're feeling resentful, ask yourself, do I have an expectation of how people receive these gifts? So if you take the kids for an afternoon so your partner can go play golf or do something nurturing to themselves, and they come back and they maybe complain that it was too hot or too sunny or whatever, and you find yourself being like, whatever. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. But if you find yourself getting angry and you're like, I worked my tail off to give you that, you are not giving out of your abundance. That is resentment that you are building because you have an expectation of how they receive that gift. It's the same with our kids. When we give and give, like mealtime is one of the worst because you do all this stuff. You try to make like the balanced meal and you put it in front of them and they're like, I'm not eating this. What is this crap? It's like you put a dead puppy in front of them. It's like, no, just eat the freaking carrots. But we have an expectation around how they are going to receive that gift. So we have these expectations because for a billion reasons. But when we don't take time for ourselves, it is almost impossible not to have these expectations because we are helpers. We give and we give and we give, and we keep expecting someone to do the same for us. And then it doesn't happen. And then we get really pissed off. Or someone does do the same and it's just not adequate. So we need to prioritize and take control over time for ourselves. So that's that point. I'm just moving right along here. So, next is talk to that inner voice. Write down what's on your mind. During the pandemic, one of the beautiful things that I started doing was writing letters to friends. And it felt so much better than like texting. It felt better even than like emailing. Like I would sit down and write physical letters to friends. So, what I found in that was I started writing about how I'm doing, truly doing, and I got curious about how I'm doing. And that is such a powerful exercise because when you can talk to the inner voices that you have, it can give you a level of detachment so that you're not as swayed or as controlled, as driven by those things. So you can really focus and know how you're doing. So if we have this like underlying anxiety and all of these things, then it's going to be hard to stay focused and present in the moment because our mind is working through something. And so when we take the time and we can talk to our inner voice, we can get to know ourselves better and understand what's going on in there. Next is I want to talk about distraction free, focused work time. Two things on this: timers and shutting your phone off. So I talk a lot about one on one time with my kids. I think it's hugely impactful. It's wonderful. It's great for both of us. If I have my phone with me, it really negatively impacts that time because I'll get an alert, I'll get something, I'll look at it, he'll ask a question, and usually it's my son asking some random question. And I'll be tempted to pull out the phone and look it up, and then I get distracted by the phone. So when we know, time boxing is what I like to call it. I'll always tell my partner, I'm like, oh, let's talk about that, but let's time box it because I don't want to spend all night on it. Um, but so when you have a set amount of time to do something, it's easier for your mind to really focus on it because all of the other things you're like, okay, those are going to get done too. But right now, I'm just doing this. So there's a time limit on it. And you can do the same thing. You can do it with anything. Like if you're trying to get something done at work, close all the other tabs, turn your phone on, do not disturb, seclude yourself, Tell the coworker that keeps talking to you that you can't talk right now and you're unavailable. Like, do what you need to do to get in a distraction free zone so that you can really focus. And having those few minutes of focus time and really digging deep on that is going to help you even after that, because you don't have to think about the thing that you half assed, because you didn't half ass it. You gave it all you got. And so when you're doing these things, you might think of something else and you can keep a notepad handy and you just make a word reminder to yourself. And then after your focus time, you set another timer for 2 minutes and you walk around, you get away from it, you do something completely different. Then you come back, you set another timer for maybe 5 minutes, and then you write out all of the things that came up, those one word notes on your notepad. You write all those out and you figure out what are the things I need to do. Because a lot of times things just swirl in our heads. It's this big mess of crap. And we need to get it down on paper. We need to figure it out. And we can't do that if it's all swirling, because this goes here, then this goes here, then this goes here, then this. And you start thinking things over and over and over again, and it spirals, and that is not helpful. So you need to set up some distraction free focus time and utilize timers. I have a friend who had, I don't know that she's ADHD, but she has talked about like feeling like she might be. And she sets a timer literally for like any household task. So she'll set a timer for unloading the dishwasher. And that helps her not get distracted and run off and do this other thing. So just do whatever you need to do to get those things done. Now, that covers everything I was trying to get out to you guys today. This is a little bit different than what I normally talk about, but I just really wanted to get these techniques out to you guys and hear what is resonating with you. My challenge to you is take 10 minutes per day and devote it to just you, not to cleaning, not to, I don't know, not to picking up trash, not to like even calling a friend, not even that, like to yourself. Dedicate 10 minutes. And if you feel like you don't have 10 minutes, or if you want to talk more about anything that we've talked about, I'm going to drop the link in to book a call with me. I want you to do that, because this whole swirling and spinning and feeling like we're lost in motherhood, we need to get over that. And the only way to get over that is to take action and do something about it. So, your action for today is to start taking at least 10 minutes a day to your own solitude. And let me know. Let's talk if you feel like there's a problem with that, and we'll come up with a plan for you. So, that's it. I love talking to you guys. Please make a comment below if you are catching the replay, and just let me know. Let me know what resonated with you and what you're going to try. So take care. Have a good week. Bye.